Okay, so let's tackle orientation. If we were looking at only 2 dimensions, we would need to only think in terms of rotation. But because we are looking at 3 dimensions, we need a little bit more information than that. And the way that I want to think about it is I want to think about it in terms of a vector from toe to the head of whatever your object is. But that doesn't give us enough information because we also need to know which direction Mario's nose is pointing. So the way that we're going to deal with it is we're going to use a plane, and we're going to call this the orientation plane. So we would have Mario orientation plane something something. That would just be our class attribute. So we have a vector and something to handle rotation around that vector, and so we're going to use the plane as the abstract data type, and we're going to use the naming conventions OP for orientation plane, and then OV for orientation vector. And what is an orientation vector? An orientation vector is what we're going to deal with to consider the change in the orientation plane. So because we're dealing with only orientation, let's superimpose, imagine this Mario right there. And right now we're not going to worry about changing the rotation around. So for this video and the next few videos, we're going to be dealing with an orientation plane, but we're not going to care which direction Mario's nose is going, really. But so anyways, so the orientation vector is the vector that we're going to that's going to store the information of rotating this Mario around to this Mario. And so it's going to be in terms of the world axes. So this is the world. You have X, Y, Z, and then the orientation vector would be some vector over here. So the way that we're going to get that onto whatever our mover is, so yeah, this would be Z, and then X, Y. So the way that we're going to get that over here is we are going to use remap. So we're going to have a point, and we're going to remap it from this plane to this plane. So it's going to give us a point over here, and then we are going to rotate this plane around to this vector. So it's so the normal of this plane is orientated towards the point that we remapped in. And so that was a little bit confusing, but it will become clear once we do an example.